We're up. We're alive. We exist. We're up and at 'em, boys. We're up and at 'em. Oh, big stretch. Oh, man. As per usual, just gonna hang out here until people join in, because I don't want to stream for. I don't want to stream for nobody, because I am a lonely boy. Probably get some water before the stream starts. Oh my lord! Big yawn. Big yawn from old Hayden. I'm excited. Oh, I'm gonna get some water. Oh, man. Oops, didn't mean to open this. Well, I guess I'll take a look anyways. Ooh, a little burp. I can see there's one person apparently apparently viewing this right now, and I'm going to wait until I know people are here. Just waiting for people to sound off, just because, you know, I don't like streaming for nobody. It makes me very sad. I need to be able to share this copy. Ugh. Crack my back. And get ready to rock and roll. And yawn. Because I just woke up from a nap. I had to make sure I was rocking and raring to go. I don't actually know what kind of voices I'm going to be doing this for this one. Usually I have my... I don't know. Usually I have an idea, but I've got no idea what's about to happen. I'm not used to this. I'm not used to this game yet. It's very weird. I've got a record player that. I don't want to start it. Yeah, I don't want to start. I'm scared. I refuse to do this alone because of horrible, horrible experiences. It scares me. It makes me the biggest scare. It makes me the big scare. Well, looks like we got one viewer. That's the saddest thing anyone's ever said. Hello, whoever that is. If you are a real person and not someone who is a glitch, because sometimes that happens, then I think we're good to go. Think we're good to go. Lord Almighty, can't speak ever. The guy asked about for no reason. Hey, we have a friendo. Hello there, Thack. You know, man, I don't know. Sometimes it just glitches out and it doesn't tell me that, or like it tells me that someone's here, but then there's not really anyone here. To be honest, this is enough for me to start the stream, and then I don't know. I guess I'll go for as long as people are here. When I was a younger man, I really wanted to do YouTube and streaming, so I started streaming, and one time I did a stream and no one showed up, and I haven't done that since because it was a traumatic experience that I disliked greatly. So I don't do that anymore. So none of my usual people are here. I guess they're all busy with whatever, which is fair, happens. But we're playing Ace Attorney Miles Edgeworth Investigations. This is a spin-off game of the Phoenix Wright franchise, where we play as Edgeworth, and he's a pretty great guy. It's also a little bit different. It's not in court. It's like a walk-around where you're investigating. Surprisingly enough. Could never figure that one out. So, because we're starting a new case, we're going to watch the intro cutscene and then hop right into it. The murder that occurred in my office. The return of the great thief Yatagarasu. Thinking back, everything began on that fateful day, 2 days ago. If by chance you're interested in the, if you're interested, I have the whole Apollo Justice game uploaded to my channel, and that game is amazing. It is a really good one. Yes, everything began high up in the air, 9,000 feet in the air to be precise. Well, thank you for flying iFly Airlines. We are currently experiencing slight turbulence. We are asking all passengers to please return to their seats and fasten their seatbelts. So far, my experience with the game is it's decent. It's not really well written, but the music's really good.
March 12th, 6:13 a.m. Flight I-390, first floor lounge. Ugh. Why do I feel like I've just woke up from a horrible nightmare? 6:13, huh? Guess I was out cold for about 10 minutes. Slight turbulence indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently experiencing some slight turbulence. Well, I don't know why I talk so slow. For your safety, we ask that you return to your seats and fasten your seat belts. I suppose turbulence is to be expected on a flight. Though admittedly, I'm less than comfortable with anything resembling earthquakes. Oh, nice going, dum-dum. What's this? A travel wallet. But it's not mine. How does someone else's travel wallet wind up in my pocket? Ugh, my head. Why won't this headache go away? I'll take care of this travel wallet later, or hand it off to an attendant. And totally not get accused of stealing. Ugh, from earthquake-like turbulence to an elevator. What am I doing hesitating like this? Actually, I know full well why I hesitate. It was when I was still but a young child. I was caught up in a murder that happened in an elevator. But how long am I going to let my past haunt me? It's just an elevator. I'm a grown man now. I need to behave like one. Oh shit! He looks a bit like Kristoff. What the? What in the world happened? Is there something wrong, sir? I must ask that you return to your seat. He's dead! Please calm down. We mustn't jump to conclusions without all the facts. What's wrong? Did something happen? You murderer! What? No, you have it all wrong. It wasn't me. March 12th, 6:41 a.m. Flight I-390, second floor, first class. Let's be on a plane with 2 fucking floors. Everyone, I am sorry to interrupt, but I have an important announcement. I am one of your flight attendants today, Rhonda Tenero. Wait a second. This is the side. I guess I'll go with the voice. I want to say this is the sidekick. Unfortunately, we have just had a minor accident on this flight. An accident? Don't treat us like we're stupid. I caught a glimpse and it was a murder. What? Murder? What's going on with this flight? Everyone, please calm down. There's no reason to panic. This flight will stay on course and make its scheduled landing. We are still currently in the middle of a rough patch of turbulence. So until we are out of this area of turbulence, I ask that you please remain seated. But someone was killed, right? I mean, what about the killer? Let me off. Please, there is no need to feel threatened. We have already apprehended the culprit. He's sitting right behind you. I ask that everyone please remain calm. What the hell is he talking about? Why should we remain calm? My name is Miles Edgeworth. I'm a prosecutor, and I assure you I am not the killer. Being a prosecutor does make you incapable of a murder, buddy. Now you listen here. I am not the killer. I simply found the body. So you say, however, I am sure that you are the perpetrator of this crime. I swear on my honor as a professional flight attendant. Oh, is that right? I know what I saw, and there's even very strong, incriminating evidence to back me up. What kind of incriminating evidence is she talking about? We've already alerted the proper authorities at our destination. Until we land, you will remain in our custody by the powers vested in our captain. I'm very sorry, but please understand our situation. Your situation? I'm more concerned with mine and the direction it's going in. I'm not about to just sit by idly while I get accused of murder. Miss Tenero, is it? Yes. I was wondering if you might give me a chance. A chance to do what? A chance to plead my case. And a chance to speak with what you meant by... a chance to ask what you meant by incriminating evidence just now. To accuse a passenger of such a grave crime without allowing him to give a proper defense. Can the professional flight attendant inside of you really call this action righteous? You have a point. Very well, I'll listen to what you have to say. But be wary of what you reveal. I'm afraid you'll only look even more suspicious if your explanation fails to satisfy. I also do not have time to deal with you all day, so please make it quick.
Of course, as you wish.
Good. Very well then, let's get started.
I know for a fact that I didn't kill that man in the elevator. What I don't know is what sort of evidence she has up her sleeve, but I'm certain it doesn't fit with how the crime really occurred. What Mr. Nero saw.
I swear to tell the whole truth as a professional flight attendant. Unfortunately for you, Mr. Edgeworth, I am certain that you are the killer. The scene I saw in front of the elevator, it was you standing there with fresh blood dripping off the murder weapon. So if you would please cooperate, we'll turn you over just as soon as we land.
That's it. That's her evidence.
I don't think you could ask for a more perfect witness testimony. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Edgeworth?
Not really. It's hardly perfect when there's a gaping hole in it.
So this game plays basically just like the Phoenix Wright games, where instead of you go into a court, you're just there.
There's also an extra gimmick on top of it, but basically this is the exact same court system as it's always been. The murder weapon dripping with blood. Really now.
I swear that was the grisly scene I saw before me. Thank goodness it wasn't a passenger who saw there'd be a widespread panic by now.
Don't mind that we're speaking directly in front of them all in the middle of the aisle with no one else speaking.
As I recall, you were quite panicked yourself at the time.
Excuse me?
You were scared enough to misread the situation and accuse me of murder.
Nonsense! Professional flight attendants cannot afford to be that flustered. I witnessed the murder scene and I am now listening to your defense, all with a smile.
Apparently, you also lie with a smile on your face.
What are my things?
So the wallet, crime scene notes, Sky Magazine. Interesting, that's the itinerary.
Yeah, you're definitely wrong.
Mr. Nero!
What is the yelling of all of a sudden?
Force of habit? Well, it doesn't matter. Mr. Nero, you say you saw the murder weapon dripping with blood. Is that correct?
Yes, all that blood drip, drip, drip. Just recalling that scene sent a chill down my spine.
Sorry, but your so-called professional flight attendant training has failed you.
What?
I'd like to direct your attention to this. Do you know what this is?
It's a travel wallet, right? But it looks a little big and bulky.
The thing you saw me holding when I discovered the dead body in the elevator was this very travel wallet, Mr. Nero.
What? Impossible!
Now then, do you still think I am the killer, that I killed him with a travel wallet?
But I saw blood dripping from the wallet, I know I did.
As you can see, this wallet is clearly stained, but if you would be so kind as to take a whiff, I think you'd agree it's only grape juice.
Then...
That's right, you mistook grape juice for blood, but murder weapon dripping with blood does not in fact exist.
No!
There, that should clear up that pesky accusation, and totally free me from jail, because as we all know, my word is the law.
Wait just a sec. That is... I mean, even a wallet could be deadly if it was wrapped around something heavy. I demand that you show me what's inside. Please.
She's trembling, and the tacked on please at the end. Sounds like I've got her. There's no need to look inside. Even you can tell from its appearance that it's light.
No, I can't be sure of anything until I see the contents of that wallet for myself.
She's a persistent one. I suppose we have no choice but to see what's inside. Mr. Nero, if you would be so kind as to open the wallet and check its contents for me.
All right. I usually don't pry into passengers' belongings, but we have no choice here.
Grape juice stains the outer cover. True, it was I who dropped it in the juice, however I didn't do it out of ill intentions. It seems that this passport is all that's in here. As you saw, there was nothing but a passport inside. This renders your wallet was the murder weapon argument moot. Wouldn't you agree?
Please hear me out, Mr. Edgeworth.
What is it now?
Well, I was wondering whose passport is it exactly? Can I take a look?
Why not? I'm rather curious myself.
This is... Oh, of course they're from Virginia. God damn it.
Of course he's from Virginia.
Just as I thought. This travel wallet belonged to Mr. Acme Hicks, which makes it the victim's property. You stole the victim's wallet, didn't you?
How dare you!
You said it yourself. You claimed to be holding this wallet in your hands when I found you. Perhaps I did misconstrue the wallet for the murder weapon, but it seems that I wasn't wrong about who the culprit is.
So Virginia was used in was introduced in Apollo Justice as basically fake country land. In case 4-3, Apollo Justice, third case, Turnabout Serenade, three of the characters from the game were from Virginia, which is Northern Europe. So Sweden, maybe. No, Apollo isn't from there. No, maybe. From what I understand about Apollo, I don't know much about Apollo. From what I understand, he's like sometimes like I don't know. He's a weird bunch.
As you claim, the murder weapon is not the travel wallet. However, it is something you stole from Mr. Hicks after you were done with the vile deed. I find it hard to believe myself, but your motive is very simple. You were out to steal Mr. Hicks' money, weren't you?
So even though I didn't have the murder weapon on me, you still suspect me, I see.
You stood up at the crime scene with the victim's wallet in your hands. How can I turn a blind eye and not suspect you of foul play?
I honestly don't know. I haven't played Professor Layton Phoenix Wright. That game is coming after this game, which I'm very excited for.
As you claim, the murder weapon is not the travel wallet. However, it is something you stole from Mr. Hicks after you were done with the vile deed.
Your motive was very simple. What do we got here?
Objection!
I wonder if I might get a word in, Miss Tenero.
What is it now?
Miss Tenero, I wonder if you would notice the contradiction with your own testimony.
What are you talking about?
It's simply impossible that the motive for this murder was monetary theft. One glance at the crime scene should have told you that. What about this crime scene would prove that the motive for the murder was not the money? I don't know, the fucking money? If I may direct your attention to the things strewn all over the floor. Ah! That's right, the floor's covered in bills and coinage. By your rationale, these were the very things the killer was after.
Ah!
I think we can assume that the wallet fell during the victim's struggle with his killer, and I would think that the killer would have noticed something like money scattering everywhere. Furthermore, as you can see, there was no effort made by the killer to gather the money.
But the wallet.
Ah, yes, the wallet. You will also recall that the only thing in it was Mr. Hicks's passport.
Ah!
If you are really insisting that this is a crime based on greed, then you're claiming that it was all for an empty travel wallet.
Forgive me, please.
Hey, what the heck? Are you saying the attendant's wrong? So that guy isn't the killer? Ha! Don't believe it, everyone. It's a trick. Will you all please be quiet? Miss Tenero.
Yes?
You lost your cool when you saw the dead body. Plus, the lounge was dark, and looking into the light from the elevator, it's easy to see how you mistook the wallet in my hand for the murder weapon. I take no offense that you thought that I was the killer.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Thank you for releasing me. Now, to get away with my vile deed.
This is Virginian, by the way. This is the Virginian language. They speak in wingdings for some reason.
What is it now?
Lord almighty, he doesn't look evil.
Miss Tenero, if you could please translate, I'd be much obliged.
It sounds like Virginian, but I don't understand any of it. There's another attendant on this flight who...
I still don't know what to do for this guy's accent, so I'm just gonna kind of go with German.
I said that he is giving the roundabout. I don't require an interpreter. I speak English just well, see? You, the attendant.
Yes, sir?
I want this person to be under the arrest until we arrive at the airport.
I'm sorry, sir, but what exactly are you hoping for?
What is it you want? I'm finished talking to the likes of you.
I don't know what accent it is. I've never been able to. I don't know. I don't really know who they are. Like, I think they're Swedish, but I'm also really not good at a Swedish voice, and I'm not about to try doing an angry
Swedish man. Jesus Christ. Please, I'd like to hear why you would like to have... I would like to hear why you would like me to be held under arrest until we learn.
You! How dare you try to waste my time?
You were the one who stuck your nose into my affairs.
I wanted to spend at least one more precious second with
Lord Almighty, I don't know what it is about this game, but I keep messing up the lines.
I wanted to spend even at least one more second with my precious art. I have no time for other things. I know what you are. I see through you. Insolvent. Yes, I am pretty sure that's how you say it in English.
Well, I'd hope that I don't dissolve in water, but I don't think that's what you meant. I'm sorry, but I don't think I caught your name.
I am Zinc.
Lord Almighty.
I am Zinc LeBlanc the second. I am a very wealthy man in Virginia. But I am not an ordinary rich man. I am an art dealer, a rich seller of beauty.
Why are you giving us like the Fonzie fingers? Like, hey! Mr. LeBlanc, what did you mean just now?
Pardon?
When you said that Mr. Edgeworth was giving me the runabout?
I have to explain? Unbelievable. I will say it once and only once. I do not have even a second to waste. Time is money, as they say.
Yes, and yet you continue to blather on.
I saw it, yes I did. I saw the victim go into the elevator, going down to the lounge. It was exactly at 6 o'clock.
And what's the significance of that time?
At 6, he says.
Wait, you saw him at 6. What's the matter, Mr. Edgeworth?
He understands, I see. Miss Attendant, what time did you discover the body?
Well, it was a little off that patch of turbulence, so I would say around 6:15.
Hicks was his name, was it? When I say that man Hicks was killed in a 15-minute... Then I say that man Hicks was killed in a 15-minute time span. And the only person in the lounge at that time was the prosecutor, yes?
I'm gonna get a different voice. It's gonna kill my voice.
I'm just gonna go with a nasally voice.
Yeah, I was in my seat the whole time. Me too. I was watching the movie and enjoying a fine glass of grape juice, not wine. I'm not an alcoholic. You can't prove anything. I was still eating. I still haven't finished, see?
The other passengers have an alibi, so you have no problem with them, I suppose. No complaint, Tracy. Not a single word against this, right?
I have no way of discounting what you have put forth at this point, but it wasn't me.
Oh, so you say, but do you have what you say is the evidence? Mr. Edgeworth, are you really the culprit after all?
Mr. LeBlanc, I suppose you are quite certain in what you saw and have to give testimony?
Of course, I was looking at that man the whole time. He was playing with that little annoying little, small machine the whole time.
Machine?
Yes, that's what you people call it in English, yes? It was making me crazy with the click, click, click.
From that description, it sounds like some sort of small computer.
I believe what Mr. LeBlanc is talking about is a cell phone. I have to say that I did see him playing with it quite a bit myself.
A simple cell phone, a laptop or organizer I can see, but that's kind of low budget.
I hate that noisy little machine in his hand. Not a fragment of beauty. All it produces is ugly sounds. Anyway, I know what I saw.
Miss Tenero?
Yes?
I was wondering if I might be granted permission to examine the crime scene.
What? You want to examine the crime scene?
If you would grant me a little measure of time, I'm sure I can produce the real culprit.
I don't like the sound of that. Fox in the duck pen. Yes, I think that's how you say it in English.
It's fox guarding the hen house, and I believe my innocence was proven earlier. And if I'm given the chance, I can clear up all remaining doubts. That'll bring logic to an Ace Attorney game. Funny enough, actually logic is a main mechanic of this game.
Mr. Nero, if you'd wait until we arrive. There is a good chance that some evidence will have been destroyed by then.
I understand. Let me see what the captain has to say.
This should not be approved.
Please, Mr. LeBlanc, in an emergency, all decisions are to be made by the captain alone. Now, please wait here while I go ask the captain what to do, and please ignore that my voice got British for a second. I'll be right back.
You're not planning to erase evidence when you're doing your investigation, yes?
Of course not.
We will see.
Mr. Edgeworth, we have the captain's permission to investigate the crime scene.
What? Unbelievable!
I'm in your debt, Mr. Nero.
However, there is one condition. I am to supervise you. Can you agree to that?
Of course, I see no problem with that stipulation. It's only natural that as I am still a suspect in this case.
I take full responsibility and will watch Mr. Edgeworth's every move. I hope this is reassurance enough that there will be no foul play. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, shall we proceed? If you should need my help with anything, please feel free to touch the partner button.
It's time to head to the scene of the crime, the first floor lounge. Ooh, that's a bit like it. Whoa, hello there. Ooh. Excuse me, but may I have a word with you? You there!
If you need something, please ask Miss Rhoda over there, okay?
What the? Hey, wake up, you!
I'm terribly sorry that she's being so rude, Mr. Edgeworth.
No need for you to apologize. I just find it hard to believe she's asleep on the job. If I were her boss, I'd see that her salary was cut so low that... Fucking Jesus. If I were her boss, I'd see to it that her salary was cut so low that it was in the red. Alright. March 12th, 7:26 a.m., flight I-390, first floor lounge. I want to thank you for your help back there, Mr. Nero.
It was nothing. You should thank the captain for granting you permission. And just so everything is perfectly clear, I still don't trust you to that extent. I don't want you to think that your standing with me has changed.
Honestly, I will bear that in mind.
I received an order from the captain earlier. He wanted you to know that we reserve the right to stop your investigation if we feel you are not making progress. And when we do, he asks that you please return to your seat at that time.
So my time runs out at his and his crew's discretion, does it? I have to find a way to discredit Mr. LeBlanc's testimony before time's up. I understand. By the way, is there any place you can think of where the killer might hide on board?
I don't think so. After every first-class passenger was accounted for at his or her seat, we made a thorough search of the plane. As for business and economy class, no one can move between those two classes in first class without a staff keycard, and we found no record of a keycard being used at all.
Which means that I have a first-class killer on my hands. At least I know that much for sure. Holy crap, guys! What is wrong with me? And one other thing. No one else has been allowed near this crime scene since the murder was discovered either. Now then, let's get started.
But where should we start from?
Let's start with Mr. LeBlanc's statements. The crime occurred between 6 a.m. and 6:15 a.m. During that interval, the only person in the lounge was myself, which would make me the prime suspect. However, since I did not kill Mr. Hicks, it means that the killer was around somewhere. Where was the killer? What clues point to where the killer could have been?
If we are to believe what you say is true, then yes.
The first order of business will be to gather information to win your trust. What floors does this elevator service?
Only the first and second, although it can also go down to the cargo hold. However, that requires a flight crew keycard.
So the only floors accessible to passengers are the first and second floor, huh?
He was drinking grape juice. Not alcoholic. He was drinking grape juice.
I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Can I logic at this point? I don't think I can. Maybe I can do this right now. It doesn't use up a lot if I fail. Oh, nice, did it. True, there wasn't anyone else in the lounge other than myself right before the turbulence, but if the killer was in the elevator along with the victim, then that's a different story. If only I could prove that the killer rode the elevator with Hicks. So that's how, this is the logic thing. So you get different bits of information, you have to pair them together. That's the gimmick of this game. I wonder what was hanging off of this lanyard. Something's missing from the picture. Now if I could just put my finger on it. Money is strewn all over the floor of the elevator. I would guess it was all in Mr. Hicks's wallet at some point. What is this? What is this sinister-looking figure on the floor here? Oh, that's a piggy bank of our company mascot, Mr. Ifley. Oh, iFly, Mr. iFly. It's just one of the many pieces of merchandise we sell at our in-flight shop. This bank is a limited edition, and this is so popular that we're down to our last one. You have an in-flight shop? Yes, it's just beyond the lounge to the right. The shutter to the store is closed at the moment, but it was open the whole flight up until Mr. Hicks's body was discovered. There's blood on here. Could this have been the murder weapon? So it's definitely probably the murder weapon. Something sticking out of his pocket. Hope he won't mind if I take a look at what's inside. It's a picture. It looks like it was taken inside a building somewhere. So now I can deduce. So is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Oh no, I need to go back real quick. I need to click here, deduce, and then find the contradiction. Or find the connection or whatever. Eureka! Mr. Hicks's machine is nowhere to be found. His machine? His cell phone, Mr. Tenero. Oh, so I guess it's not. I guess because it's not here. Yes, I think we can safely deduce that the killer took it. Missing cell phone. Gotcha. I doubt anyone was expecting to find a dead body in an elevator on this flight. So Mr. Hicks, he's really dead? Yes. She's trembling, although I can't fault her for that when there's a corpse right there. No, you can't match evidence with profiles. They actually removed the profile mechanic on a large scale in Apollo Justice. Actually, I think they did. Like, they have profiles, but you just can't as easily, like, you can't use them like you used to be able to. Yeah, from North European Republic of Virginia. Ackby Hicks. Mr. Hicks, if you're really dead, then please answer. Mr. Hicks, if you're really dead, then please answer yes. I see she's over the trembling now, although a new symptom seems to have appeared. Anyways, I should focus on the victim's body. Let's see. There's blood on the back of Mr. Hicks's head. Could this be the cause of death? He appears to have been struck very hard. Even his glasses are broken. A statue with blood on it lying next to the body of a man who was beaten to death. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, I think I figured something out. Yes? What is it? The way the blood is on this, it looks like it matches up with the wound on his head. Well, aren't we deserving of the master of the obvious title? Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? Don't you think that's worth investigating? It would appear that this figurine is our murder weapon. Oh, I just knew it! I mean, I can't think of any other connection. Perhaps Master of the Oblivious would be more befitting. We got a murder weapon. That doesn't connect. We're making some progress, lads. We're making some progress. Let's examine here. There is some blood on one of the corners. Could this piggy bank be the murder weapon? I think that's a yes. It says iFly Airlines. You know, I've seen it occur a lot recently, and it's been bothering me greatly. But why does nobody know how to properly capitalize and space nouns anymore? Ooh, dig it, apple. I didn't know I could swipe this. Between 6 and 7, there was a movie. Or between 6 and 8, rather. I think I have to go up here. No, I can't deduce. So I think I'm done with this guy. There's no grape juice residue on the soles of his shoes, making it highly unlikely that Mr. Higgs entered this elevator after the turbulence. These glasses are broken. I don't know, I'm going back to this. I can't do anything. Oh, righty then. Let's see what we can do. Let's examine here. No, there's no right back. Oh, there we are. Cool. There's some spilled grape juice in front of the elevator. I assume it was spilled during the turbulence. Oh, we must clean that up or someone might get hurt. Aha! What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I found some very important evidence. What is the important piece of evidence in this scene? Jeez, I wonder. Grape juice, yeah. I think last game it was tomato juice. What is it? They're a little smudged, but I think we can both agree they are a set of footprints. Spilled grape juice. So you think... Yes, these belong to our killer. Oh, then maybe we should check the shoe sizes of everyone in first class. I don't think that will be of any help to us. Unfortunately, the prints are too smudged, which will make them hard to get a definitive match. Oh, I see. The in-flight shop is just behind these shutters, but we don't have permission to open them, so I'm afraid I must leave them closed. There must still be clues to be found here in this lounge. I must remain ever vigilant. This door leads to the flight attendant's room, but please understand that it's off limits to unauthorized personnel. The room is giving off the scent of woman's perfume. One would think that perfume would smell great, however to me it simply smells. Not that I have any interest in what lies beyond this door. Perhaps we should return to the investigation, Mr. Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth? Sorry, I spaced out for a second there. These bottles and glasses must have been broken by the turbulence. That seems... That seems like very short-sighted. There's quite a bit of broken glass here. Please be careful when passing through the area. Thank you very much for the warning, Mr. Edgeworth. However, no matter how kind you are towards me, know that it does not clear up any suspicions I have about you. I wasn't warning you for the sake of clearing my name. These counter windows offer a glimpse of the sky, but these clouds, they tell me nothing. Mr. Edgeworth, you look like you're talking to the clouds. Is that so? Then tell me, what do you suppose I said to them? I don't know, but it looked like a rather one-sided conversation. The clouds, they tell me nothing. This grand piano is the pride of this plane. It can play the music of whatever CD we insert into its CD drive? That's not a piano, it's more like an overgrown music box. Ah, but its keys to press along with the music as though there really is someone playing it. Some people have entirely too much money to waste on over-complex toys. This toppled over chair, yet another victim of the turbulence. No, look at all the grape juice staining in the back! You may not look it, but this chair was extremely valuable. It was? Yes, it was used when the Rocker Pals came to tour the plane. The Rocker Pals' leader sat in this very chair. I'm sorry, but what are these Rocker Pals? I can't believe you've never heard of them. They're all the rage. The Rocker Pals are an extremely popular international band. They added the Pals part as they became more popular, especially among teens. Oh, that explains it. I'm not really one for the music of today. Maybe I should ask Detective Gumshoe about them later. On second thought, I can already see how confusing the conversation would get.
Rocker Pals, pal.
What or who is this? You, Jesus Christ. This is a bronze statue of the founder of Airlines, Mr. Hugo I-Fly. Hugo I-Fly. The one on the left is of when he was in his 40s, and the other is of him in his 80s? Did the man actually age in the span of 4 decades? Maybe I need to squint more. Glasses and candles thrown into disarray by the turbulence. It's been a while since I've seen this big of a mess. It's terribly embarrassing, but I thought it was an earthquake for a second. And I frantically started searching for gas valves to shut. Oh. I guess the shaking of the plane was bad enough to be mistaken for a real earthquake. Not that I would know, since I was unconscious for most of it. I think there's still some stuff right here. Oh, I guess there's nothing more to find. I can't get anything out of you. Does it come out well? I think that this... this works. Because they would have to... I don't know. We'll see. Cool. I have it! I'm sorry, but I don't understand, Mr. Edgeworth. I guess someone other than myself was here...
You need to sit down. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, did you prove you are innocent yet?
If you would like, I will prove my innocence to you right now.
What? Nonsense! Are you saying my eyewitness testimony is mistaken?
Not mistaken, merely that there is room for doubt. I'd be most honored if you could please tell me what you saw in detail once more.
Fine, suit yourself.
I think I'm going too far back in the throat.
Fine, suit yourself. I am certain I saw Mr. Hicks into the elevator. It was when the needles on my pocket watch pointed to the 6 and the 12. The body was discovered 15 minutes after that in the lounge, yes. Then you as the only person in the lounge as that time must be the criminal.
Mr. LeBlanc's conclusions seem to make logical sense. After all, the only person in the lounge at the supposed time of the murder was me.
So, my eyewitness testimony, if you think you can destroy it, then let me see. Hurry, do I look like a man who is having the time to wait for you?
Why is he so irritated? I'm the one accused of murder here. Anyway, I must find a way to discredit Mr. LeBlanc's account somehow, and fast. God damn it, I can't get the voice right for this guy.
I am certain I saw Mr. Hicks into the elevator. It was when the needles on my pocket watch pointed to the 6 and the 12.
Certainly has a lot of confidence in his testimony. If push comes to shove, I may need to press him for more information. Okay. No, I'll just keep going. Mr. LeBlanc, were you able to get a good look at the inside of the elevator at that time?
Of course I saw what was inside.
And you were sure that the victim was in the elevator alone?
Yes, the only person inside was that Mr. Hicks man.
This last outburst is a bit too important to let go. Was he really alone?
Of course, I will bet even 1 cent.
A cheap ante for a cheap testimony. But if that's how you want to play it, I'll happily take your 1 cent. Mr. LeBlanc.
What is it?
There's a very glaring contradiction in your testimony.
What do you mean?
Please take a look at the area in front of the elevator. There, at the spilled grape juice.
Yes, and? Will you admit you also spilled with the blood?
No, it spilled itself during the turbulence. But the interesting thing here is the set of grape juice footprints.
Footprints?
Yes, the ones that lead from within the elevator out into the lounge itself. It's evidence that proves that someone other than Mr. Hicks exited the elevator alive.
Oh!
There must have been another person in the elevator with Mr. Hicks. Now then, I'm done playing games. Why don't you tell us the truth? Can you please translate for us? Whoa! That's, bold? That's bold. That's almost as bold as, yeah, I don't even think that beats out, April May. No way. That's clearly into the elevator he was entering. It's a very weird way of saying it. Why do you insist that you are absolutely not mistaken?
Because when I say I'm not wrong, I'm not wrong.
Mr. LeBlanc, if I may, I think beyond misconceptions and mistakes lies the truth. Funny, that suspiciously mirrors something I told her only a little while ago. Mr. LeBlanc doesn't seem to be lying. I may need to draw more information out of him before I see anything inconsistent. So are you still upset now?
I'm always upset. The only time I'm not is when I have a piece of art in my hands.
It's surprisingly easy to believe that about him.
But I was even more upset when Mr. Hicks walked by me.
Why were you so attentive to the time?
Because something unforgivable was happening.
And come to think of it, you were yelling about something unforgivable earlier.
I was giving up a complaint to the attendant about some movie starting time. Return back to me my time in money. You understand the point?
Money? Is he talking about the in-flight one that's mentioned in the magazine? Summary of the plot in the start time. Interesting.
They were supposed to show License to Love, Laugh, Maim, and Murder. I cannot see that movie in my country. You can only see it on international flights. I look forward greatly to that movie. I check my pocket watch whenever possible so I would not miss it. I even set my pocket watch to the destination time when I came on board. So my watch is not wrong. It matched its schedule. But the movie was still late. Very, very late.
Your pocket watch. I'd like to ask you a little more about it, if that's alright. So this movie you mentioned is the one listed in the Sky magazine.
Yes! I was so looking forward to watching License to Love, Laugh, Maim, and Murder.
Miss Nero, was this movie shown on this flight? Yes, it was shown at the scheduled time. Isn't it possible you simply slept through it by accident?
Nonsense, you doubt me?
No, stop pointing at me like that. Odd, how did he miss a movie that he was clearly hoping to see?
I checked my pocket watch a great number of times. That's much I know for sure.
I watched it to my destination's time. I always said it when I board the plane. You're sure about what you just testified, Mr. LeBlanc?
Yes, of course. I'm a very busy man. I'm immediately busy when I land. I have many places to go, and I have no time to waste adjusting my pocket watch.
I see. That was a very valuable statement you just made.
Flatter me all you want, but you will not get 1 cent out of me.
That's all right. All it requires is piece of testimony. Do we have? What? Does this help at all? All times shown correspond to our departure time zone. There we go. Got it.
Objection!
Mr. LeBlanc, you said this just now in your testimony.
I even set my pocket watch to the destination time when I came on board.
Now, if your watch has been set to our destination's time zone, it would mean that your watch is displaying the time of our destination.
Yes, and the correct time is worth its 6 cents.
I would like you to take a look at this. If you believe the Sky magazine, clocks on this flight run in accordance with the time of our departure time zone. Of course, the movie schedule was also created with that in mind. Mr. Nero, for confirmation's sake, what time zone is this flight aligned to right now? Well, we made a short stop at the transfer point. That's right, it was in that small Asian country, the Republic of Zhengfa. But we didn't readjust our onboard clocks at that time, so right now we are still running on Borginian time.
What?
The time difference between Borginia and our destination is 9 hours. In that case, it's only natural that your watch would be set out of sync with the schedule. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Further, with your analog watch set to our destination's time, it would appear to be running 3 hours fast when compared to the flight's onboard clocks. It also changes everything about your testimony. So what's our clocks right now? So if it's 3 hours fast, so he's... So, I mean, wait, what time is he set to right now? 10 o'clock? I guess we'll find out. I like this music a lot, wow. And you can bet 1,000,000 cents on that. In light of this information, it means that you saw Mr. Hicks 3 hours prior at 3 a.m.
My 1,000,000 cents!
This should clear up all of the remaining accusations. So this basically widens the time frame for the... Jesus, come on, guys, let's go. I've got a fucking stream to do. This basically widens the time frame for the time of death, right? Yes, because Mr. LeBlanc saw the victim enter the elevator at 3 a.m. It means that the time of death could be anywhere from 3 to 6:15 a.m. The question now is, where was Mr. Hicks during that span of time, and what was he doing? I've got something to say. And you are? Yeah, oh, I'm Cammy Meal. I'm a flight attendant. And what is it you wish to say? Well, I think your story is a little different from how I remember it. What do you mean, Cammy? I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 a.m., you know? What? How can you be so sure of the time? Oh, that's right, he pushed his call button while we were parked at the transfer point. This flight will be making a brief stop to refuel and transfer cargo in the Republic of Zhengfa between 4 and 5 a.m. We ask that all passengers remain on board at that time. Thank you for your cooperation. The stop we made for refueling and cargo transfer in Zhengfa, correct? Yes, it was from 4 to 5 a.m. according to our clocks. And during that time, did any of the passengers leave, or did any new ones board this flight? No, not a single person got off or on in Zhengfa. What about the flight crew? The few who were handling the cargo transfer might have temporarily gotten on or off, but eventually everyone, including Cammy and myself, came back on the plane. Oh, this is slowed down. Oh, come on! My computer is not doing so well. I think that just fixed it, though. So basically, I can assume that no one left or got on since our initial takeoff. Interesting. I should keep that in mind. Refueling and Zhengfa data jotted down in my organizer. Yeah, and I answered the call. I can tell you Mr. Aki Hicks was there in his seat when we took off again at 5 a.m. Alright, then that puts the time of murder between 5 and 6:15 a.m. Okay, now what time did you come down to the lounge, Mr. Edgeworth? I remember coming down here almost as soon as we left the Republic of Zhengfa.
No, you were here the whole time from 5, yes? You were the only one who could be the killer.
Mr. Edgeworth, were you really here in this lounge the entire time from 5 a.m. onwards? Unfortunately, yes. But then how do we explain the footprints?
It's not that obvious. This man waited for Mr. Hicks here in the lounge while he waited to kill him. And then he put the corpse into the elevator. That's when the turbulence happened. My eyewitness testimony may have been mistaken, but what time I saw Mr. Hicks into the elevator on the second floor does not matter, because the entire incident concluded here in the lounge.
Everything happened in this lounge. Is that what you really believe, Mr. LeBlanc?
Well, do you have another idea?
I simply feel that there's something out of place in the scenario you presented. Is there something that can tie this crime to a location other than this lounge? I'm gonna keep an eye on the FPS real quick. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. This is not doing well, man. Not doing well. Hmm. God, music is so bothering me. It keeps like jumping down. I'm gonna restart this real quick because I've got an idea for being able to maybe fix this. Let me just save here.
Yeah, that's kind of all I got for now. We'll see what happens.
It definitely didn't fix it, but maybe that? Maybe that.
Take that!
Could happen in the elevator? No.
Take that!
The murder weapon. This little piggy bank is sold at the in-flight shop. It is sold there and not only there, and only there, and is not displayed here in this lounge. How then did it find its way here? Don't you find that a tiny bit suspicious?
Such a trivial point. It only means that you prepared it. Taking it from the shop first before coming here. It doesn't prove you are innocent at all.
Is there no way to win with this matter? If I may.
What is it?
You see, well, it's just that, as Mr. Edgeworth says.
Oh, and why do you know this so well?
Well, it's just that the piggy bank was there in the shop. I saw it with my own eyes. And when was this? It was maybe around 5:40 a.m.
Isn't that just before we hit that patch of turbulence?
That's right.
You were in the shop just before the turbulence?
Yes, I was. Come to think of it, Mr. Nero, when I found the body, I believe you came out of that door. Yes, I did. And what is beyond that door? That's the flight attendant's room.
Did that and you on the first floor?
Yes. I had to do something at the shop and then in the flight attendant's room. So I went to the shop first and then to the flight attendant's room. Are you saying you passed by me at some point? Yes, you seemed really into the issue of Sky Magazine you were reading at the time. I don't suppose you noticed me walking by. I vaguely recall someone walking by, but I didn't take notice of who it was. Anyway, the piggy bank was definitely there at the shop when I went there.
Why did you go to the shop in the first place?
I went there for a work-related matter.
Work, you say?
Yes, the upkeep of the shop is also one of my responsibilities.
Why did you not say anything about that until now is what I want to know.
In any case, I believe it's clear that the shop needs to be investigated as well. Shall we head over there, then? What is it now? Aren't you forgetting something, Miss Rhoda? Don't you need the captain's permission to check the shop? No, I haven't forgotten, but I've already asked him for permission to search the entire plane, so I think we're all right. Huh, that's weird. What is? Well, I just talked to the captain, see?
And he said that he didn't give you permission to do anything like that at all.
What is the meaning of this, Miss Tenero?
It means she's lying. Go on, admit that you are. You said you have permission to search all over, but you don't, and yet, here you are.
You flight attendant! What are you trying to do? Pull the sheep over us?
Captain's calling for you, Miss Rhoda. Oh, but don't worry. I already got permission to search the shop from the captain. See, unlike you, I do things the right way.
Miss Tenero, why would you do such a thing?
Please excuse me. Looks like I get to be in charge now. Please go back to your seat, Mr. LeBlanc. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you would follow me, I'll be your guide from now on.
There's something about Miss Tenero that has piqued my curiosity, but right now investigating the in-flight shop is my top priority. Alright, we'll go this way then. It's 12A32, flight I-390, first floor, in-flight shop. So this is the in-flight shop. It's quite a mess in here.
You think? Guess I'll have to clean things up then.
Hold on! You can't clean up a potential crime scene.
Oh, thank goodness. I hate cleaning so much.
I mustn't rush things here. I must remain cool, calm, and collected. And other C words. Because this piggy bank was left at the crime scene. There's a very good chance that the killer had paid this place a visit.
What are these? Oh, these are our company's completely original line of suitcases. They're practically flying out the door. That's how popular they are. You should buy one and see how you like it. You won't regret it.
Perhaps that's how things work on this flight, but in the real world you try, then buy.
No way! But either way, it doesn't really matter.
True, either way, why would anyone buy a suitcase after they've boarded the plane?
Anyway, see that? Just look at all the Mr. Iffy heads painted on there. Cute company mascot, isn't he? They painted on with a lot of care. Doesn't he look like he's about to jump out at you?
It is certainly making something jump inside my stomach.
Huh? I guess there's no fooling your refined tastes. You look like you really wanted to get one. And I thought I was gonna finally make my first sale, but you saw right through it. Glad that's done though. Never make me try to give you a sales pitch ever again, okay?
But I never showed any interest in it to begin with.
It really is pretty horrible, isn't it? You want to know something? The suitcase was designed by Ms. Rhoda.
Miss Tenero designed this?
Yeah, it was a company-wide contest.
Well, it does have a very sharp design sense.
Sharp? Like stinky sharp cheddar, maybe. I really have no idea why the bigwigs decided to go with it. It's so bleh.
Miss Tenero designed this, did she? It's definitely not what I would have expected. Ah!
You okay?
I'm fine. Please watch yourself, Miss Melee. Meal. I think a suitcase freely rolled around is going to be a serious safety violation.
Yeah, I'll put it back. No.
Leave that for now. Let's go ahead and grab this here on the ground. Inside this display case is a row of lifesavers and a life vest for sale.
You sell a lot of those when there's some kind of accident or something. But some people buy them even when there's nothing going on. How about it, Mr. Edgeworth? Care to buy one?
I sense that this shop is one shopper away from being sued. There's a wide selection of souvenirs for sale in these display cases.
You know what I'd suggest?
Sorry, but I have no intention of buying souvenirs on this trip.
Okay, then how about you buy something for me then, as a present?
I can't think of a single reason why I'd want to buy you anything.
But I've had my eye on that pendant for such a long time.
Try paying some attention to me when I ask you something, and then we'll talk. The glass from this display case store is shattered all over the floor, and it looks like there's nothing on display inside either. Wait, actually, I think there is something. What's this? A mini captain's hat? Have we seen one of these before?
Oh, on the monkey thing.
Boom, baby. Gotcha. The hat probably used to be on the piggy bank's head. Let's give it a go and see. I believe this piggy bank was forcibly removed from this display case. Does this mean that the killer broke the glass to get at it? Glass to get at it. Yeah, really? Don't tell me you don't know what things go where in this shop. Well, I don't. Miss Rhoda's in charge of this place. So come on, how should I know anything? I sense that further inspection of this display case is needed. Okay, we got one. Examine. There we go. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. The glass on this door is broken. Perhaps it was the killer who broke it in order to take the piggy bank. But it's a bit odd that the inside of the case is so devoid of glass shards. Plus the glass broke rather cleanly. Ah! What is it? I touched the glass and it cut my finger. It hurts, Mr. Edgeworth. It hurts! Please tell me you can deal with such a minor cut on your own. Yeah. Oh, I did it again. I can deduce. But I don't know what yet. Can I deduce? Let's see here. What can I deduce? The hat on its head was found inside a display case in the in-flight shop. I wonder if that fact has any bearing on this case. It's an adorable hat, though. Do I have anything I can deduce yet? Well, I guess I'll deduce this. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? There is definitely something very unusual about this. About what? If the killer had broken the glass to get at the Mr. iFly bank, there should be shards of glass inside the case itself. Oh, I see. Yeah, I guess it'd be like that. However, if there's not a single piece of glass inside the display case... No, there isn't. Which means that the glass was broken from the inside out. The piggy bank must have fallen over from the turbulence and right through the glass. Yeah, that's for sure. There's so much glass all over the floor. I'm willing to bet that this hat was knocked off its head at that time, too. Eh? That's nice. Which leads me to believe that the killer took the Mr. iFly from here after the turbulence. Take your power naps on your own time, Miss Meal, and listen when I'm talking. Well, but the murder occurred before the turbulence, which rules this piggy bank out as the murder weapon. So you mean the bank's not the real murder weapon? It's a fake? Yes, at this point that is a very real possibility. But what if... Well, then what if when the killer went to take Mr. iFly, they broke the glass by accident? The display case is locked, so that's highly unlikely. Yeah, but there's one person you could have. Oh, and who would that be? Miss Rhoda, of course. I mean, she's the one in charge of this place, so she has the keys to everything. Miss Rhoda Tenero, huh? Let's check real quick to see if I've got everything. Okay, got it all. Got all that. Stuffed toys, just like the one Miss Meal is holding, are on display here. They're relatively cheap, which explains why they're displayed so haphazardly. How about it, Mr. Edgeworth? You know you want one too. They're great for when you're stressed. Why do I envision stuffed animal abuse when she says that? I don't know much about this shop, but you can still ask me about whatever.
Miss Rhoda said this piggy bank was in the shop, right? Don't you find her a tiny bit suspicious?
I don't think I can say either way yet. There's not enough evidence to convince me that she was lying about anything back there.
Are you sure about that?
Beautiful flowers in a beautiful arrangement. I feel cleansed just by looking at them.
Mr. Edgeworth, you're getting pollen all over.
Oh, excuse me. This is designed by Mr. Nero. That's one sharp design. Oh yeah, this as well. Yes, Silver, there's definitely something wrong here.
What's the sudden yelling?
Tell me, Miss Meal, don't you think there's something strange about these suitcases?
Oh, well, sure, they totally ooze strange, like the color and such.
That's not what I'm talking about. Now pay attention.
You're scaring me, Mr. Edgeworth.
Sorry. These suitcases are lined up a bit too prim and proper.
Yeah, they look a bit uptight, don't they? I guess they take after their creator.
Again, that's not what I meant, Miss Meal. Don't you find it unusual that these cases are the only things undisturbed by the turbulence? Never mind, I'd sooner find an answer by inspecting these suitcases myself. Upon closer inspection, they really are quite hideous.
I wonder how Miss Rhoda would have reacted if she heard what you said.
What's wrong? She makes a good point. It would be wise of me to watch what I say out loud. What's this? I've spotted something that's not quite right. What is so unusual about this suitcase?
Take that!
There's something very peculiar about these wheels.
Huh? As in,
there are no stoppers in place on these. Without stoppers, one would think that the turbulence would have set it flying.
and?
And so it is very likely that this suitcase was placed here after we hit that turbulence. Let's take a closer look at it, shall we? God, that resolution. What's this? The wheel is completely covered in something. This color and this scent. It appears the substance in question is grape juice. But why would there be juice on the wheel of a suitcase? This was apparently designed by Miss Tenera herself. The design has a certain je ne sais quoi about it. Yes, perhaps that is the best way to put it. A $1,200 price tag, not exactly priced by someone with a conscience, I'd say. Lord almighty. So I still haven't found the thing that I need to find in order to get out of this. It would appear to be unlocked. Let's take a look at what's inside. Piece of cloth. And it's soaked with blood. Ah! It's blood! It appears that this suitcase is very strongly tied out to our murderers after all. Can't speak.
So explain to me this to me. What does this suitcase have to do with the murder?
I believe it's pretty safe to say that the killer used this suitcase in some manner, such as to move something perhaps.
Yeah, but aren't you just talking about the cloth then?
That alone is too small. A larger item would be needed to be. Fucking hell, I cannot speak. A larger item would be needed to move what I'm thinking of. The thing I believe the killer used the suitcase to transport is the body.
Take that!
Something that would fit inside a suitcase that is also covered in blood. Sounds like a dead body, doesn't it?
But
in light of this, I'd say that Mr. Hicks was moved into the elevator from someplace else, which means that the murder was committed in an entirely different location.
So you're saying that after moving the body into the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase in here and just left it? Wow, the obvious bad guy might not be the bad guy. Exactly. What is it? Nothing. Just that I was thinking about what Miss Rhoda said about coming here for something. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. I wanted to give you a bit more time, but I'm afraid I wasn't able to convince the captain. I'm very sorry, Mr. Edgeworth, but the captain feels that he has allowed you ample time. He says that he'd appreciate if you could wrap it up here and return to your seat. I understand his sentiments, however, if I'm not allowed to complete my investigation, the crime scene may become contaminated by the time we land. If I must stop, then I insist to be allowed to oversee the preservation of the two sites, under your supervision, of course. If that's your only condition, then I believe we can accommodate your wishes. I'm here to assist you in any way that I can, Mr. Edgeworth. Because I am the murderer! Sounds like fun. We can camp out and watch over everything together. I found proof that the real crime scene was not in the lounge, and I have enough evidence to prove myself to be innocent of any wrongdoing. And yet, regarding what Miss Meal reminded me about Miss Tenero, I can't allow my investigation to end here. The truth must come to light. To be continued. I'm gonna keep going. I think normally I wouldn't, but I kind of want to get through this game, and I feel like we're getting close. I'll stream for at least 2 hours every night. That I stream. Not every night, because, you know, it's a lot of time. Oh, we're actually, like, out. Oh, man, is that the, oh, I don't know his name. The guy from 1-3. Like the guy who writes for the Turnabout Samurai and stuff? I guess we'll find out. March 12th, 1 p.m. local time, Hope Springs Airport. I know that... what's his name? Salmonella. I know that once we had landed, I'm supposed to let the local police take over. And thanks to Mr. Nero and Miss Meal, I was able to preserve the crime scene. But I just can't shake it. I wasn't able to talk with Mr. Nero in private, so I'm left wondering just what was she up to? Why did she do what she did? There must be a way for me to continue my investigation. I've been expecting you, Maya Zedgeworth. Yay! Woo! Francesca von Karma, boys, we're back! This bitch. I knew it was her. Francesca, I thought you were back in Germany. I go where I am needed, and wherever there are criminals to be caught. Her name is Francesca von Karma. The daughter of my mentor, Manfred von Karma. She, like myself, is a prosecutor. Now whip it real good! Are you heading up this case? It would be a bit of a relief if you are. Don't you try to flatter me, Maya Zedgeworth. I am placing you under arrest. What? It's quite frustrating, actually. I'd hoped to exact my revenge on you in a different venue, but I'll have to take what I can get. I never thought I'd see the day. But when a disciple of the House of Von Karma would become a criminal, have you no shame? Wait, it has all been a big misunderstanding. I didn't kill the victim. A misunderstanding? I heard all about the murder over the police radio from the captain himself. You waited for the victim on the first floor and then beat him to death. Francisca, do you honestly believe that I killed the man? I suppose I should reserve judgment until after I've investigated this for myself. I can put your arrest on hold until then. On hold. That's as it should be. Ha! I don't need a lecture on how to perform my duties from you of all people. To be perfect in every way, the fulfillment of that creed alone is all I strive for. Well, I have my own creed which I must fulfill, so why don't we solve this together? I have to get going. The crime scene awaits. Don't you dare leave town. Trust me, I had no intention to. Detective Gumshoe!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Too slow!
No!
Listen up, I'm leaving you in charge of watching this man. Don't mess up, understand?
Mr. Edgeworth, I'm supposed to guard him?
A simple yes or no, detective.
Okay, yes, sir. Understood, sir. You just leave it to me.
Miles Edgeworth, If you interfere with my investigation, I'll arrest you on the spot. I'll be clear. Now then, if you'll excuse me.
Good to see you again, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Boy, am I glad to see you're okay.
Thank you, Detective.
I believe in you, sir. You can lean on me. I'll get you through this.
I have to admit, I'm a bit curious as to what Francesca is up to. Maybe I should ask the good detective. Very well, in that case, I have a few questions for you.
Miss Von Karma just kind of popped up at the prosecutor's office about a week ago, sir. Something about chasing down leads related to a certain incident.
No details?
It's kind of top secret, so she can't talk about it, even with me, sir.
Knowing her, the only type of talking she likes to do is with her whip. Plus, I doubt the top secret part was what stopped her from talking to you, Detective. Although I wonder if her case has anything to do with mine. I'm voice cracking all over the place. So how is the initial investigation going?
We just shipped the body up to the coroner's office, and we're taking statements now, sir.
Sounds like Francesca. She was always good at quick responses to a case.
I'd say she was a little too quick, sir.
Oh, how so?
I rushed on over as soon as I got word of the affair, sir, but somehow when I got here, Miss Von Karma was already here barking out orders at everyone. It was kind of creepy, as though she knew there had been a murder or something, and had come in advance to await your flight's arrival.
That is sort of odd. She did show up rather quickly and out of the blue. Plus, I still don't know why she's here in America. There must be some backstory to all this.
Anyway, that's about all the info I have, sir. We should find out more as we investigate.
Yes, it's high time to resume my investigation, starting with talking to the people involved in this case afresh. Okay, Salmonella? I'm looking from behind. I think I've seen this man somewhere before.
Nom 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 nom. In Soviet Russia, world flag lunchboxes eat you.
Mr. Edgeworth, we gotta get him some water.
Found it, lol. Oh, I feel a wave of creative powers coming on. It's over 9,000 lols. For my next lead movie, it's gonna be the Steel Samurai Warrior of Neo Tokyo versus the World Samurai Champion of Earth. It's gonna be rock star so many boxers.
Phew, good thing it was a false alarm, right, Mr. Edgeworth?
So the Steel Samurai is finally getting a movie. Completely
ignore me as usual. Oh.
Okay, so yeah. Yeah, it's the guy from 1-3, Salmonella. I remember things. This child seems to be happily enjoying the sight of so many planes.
I'm all excited to see these many planes too. Just look at the size of those things.
Do you like planes too, mister? The balance between the main wings and the tail wings is really something, huh? Ah, it seems this child derives his pleasure from a different aspect.
Oh, but I've also got a thing for the shape of the wings too.
Hey, mister, you can stand next to me. So what about that plane's wing? Thank you, Detective, for leaving me out of this conversation. Roxors and boxors, but no noxors. Lunchland. Not bad. I guess it's gotten big enough to warrant its own branch shops.
Oh, I've always wanted to give their steak lunch a try.
Which should I go with? I recommend our airport special, World Flags lunchboxes, only available for for a limited time. We have a variety of lunchboxes made up to look like different countries' flags. You really want that one that badly, Detective? Why don't you go ahead and buy one?
Is that okay, sir? Thanks. Alright, then I'm really gonna get one. Here I go. Excuse me, miss. I'll take a Star-Spangled Banner lunchbox, please.
I hope he's aware that's the most expensive one in the menu. This man was in first class with me. He was quite shaken up by the whole affair.
I'd be pretty scared too if I got caught up in a murder investigation, sir. I did it. I made it with the whole flight. I'm not scared of turbulence anymore. This life vest has proved I made it alive. It's now my priceless possession.
How could you just take that from the plane?
It's okay, Miss Edgeworth. It's got nothing to do with the murder, at least.
That it? Oh, cool.
Oh, look at cool dude McGee over here.
So you must be the captain.
Why, yes, I am. And who might you be?
I'm the prodigy prosecutor Francesca Von Karma, and I have a few questions for you. Don't you dare, Captain. Getting friendly with another woman?
Whoa!
Whoa! They just really did that. Oh, this dude's been banging this chick. For real. Like, legit. Don't you dare, Captain. Getting friendly with another woman. I'll never forgive you if you do.
Well, what are you talking about? I only have eyes for you, my dear Cammy.
I wouldn't bet money on our hero captain to be much of a reputable person.
Sure you don't want to ask the captain some questions, sir? He was in the cockpit the entire time. I highly doubt he would know anything of use. Anyway, I like to leave that type of witness to Francisca and her whip. No! March 12th, 1:40 p.m., flight I'm-390, first floor lounge.
No, see here.
Ah! Sorry, I'm sorry.
How long do you intend to hold me? It is impossible for me to be the criminal, I told you.
Mr. LeBlanc.
Oh, it is you. Tell this man to stop stopping me from going. Time is money. I don't even have 1 second of wasteful time to spend.
Can't fucking speak, I keep messing it up. Did you finish taking a statement yet? Yeah, well done, sir.
I do not concern if you're not done examining the cargo hold. I want my cargo back. If you make a single scratch on my art, you will pay.
Art? What sort of art? Mr. LeBlanc is an art dealer, so he's got a bunch of artwork down the cargo hold, sir. There's practically a mountain of them, large and small.
From folk costumes to stone statues, I sell all kinds of art.
Folk costumes. Speaking of which, Mr. LeBlanc's hat kind of looks like that other piece of cloth. Mr. LeBlanc, can you please take a look at this for me?
Oh, it's a Virginian cloth.
As I suspected, your hat is made of the same material, I suppose?
Yes, of course. This fabric is so famous, orders come from over the seas for more.
Then this is the cargo you were talking about earlier?
No. My cargo is this time is much, many gigantic. You, detective, when can I have my cargo moved?
You can get your cargo back when we're done investigating, pal.
The stubbornness of you police, it is no good. And it is no good that attendant refuses to exit the attendant's rooms, too.
That attendant? I wonder if he's talking about Miss Tenero. What did you mean by that attendant, Mr. LeBlanc?
She was taken into the attendant's room for her interview. And then they still have not come out. They make no sign of coming out either. I was finished with my own interview much quicker than her.
Why is Miss Tenero's interview the only one that's taken up so much time? Uh-oh, we got Whip Girl on the case. Miles Edgeworth, you were given free rein to examine the plane, weren't you? Yes, and I was able to obtain the cooperation of the flight attendants. Speaking of attendants, I'd like to speak with Miss Tenero. I wonder if you might grant me permission to enter the flight attendant's room. Humph. Before I do, you still have to clear up a few issues surrounding your own circumstances. I understand. You may have tricked those flight attendants with your sophisticated talking, but you can't pull the wool over my eyes, Miss Edgeworth. Let's not complicate things and go to the most obvious conclusion. The scene of the crime was here, and the very lounge the body was discovered. From the time the victim was seen calling for an attendant until his body was found. The only person in this lounge the entire time was you, Miss Miles Edgeworth. This unmistakably makes you the likeliest suspect. I cannot speak. I'm messing it up. The likeliest suspect, Francisca. Do you have a problem with that? No, but it's not like you to use such vague wording. You're usually a bit more absolute. I'm simply trying to watch out for you. Or is my kindness too hard for you to comprehend? Thank you, but your leniency is unnecessary, for I will prove my innocence soon enough. If I want to continue my investigation, I'll have to break your line of logic fast. Let's just knock that out real quick. It would appear that you did not have the information needed after all. And what does that mean? Found a nice piece of evidence just before I was forced to stop investigating. A piece that proves the body was moved from a different location. The killer used a suitcase to move the victim's body. Meaning that the real scene of the crime is not this lounge at all. Now who's the one rashly jumping to conclusions? Excuse me? All you did was find this piece of cloth inside the suitcase. That doesn't prove that the body was moved. It could be that the killer simply chose that suitcase as a good place to hide the cloths. I expected you would come to that conclusion. It would seem I can't escape that easily. You should know better than that. A Von Karma is perfect in every way. Ah, but did you know that the killer definitely wheeled the suitcase around at some point? As if there is proof of that. There's a proof that the suitcase was moved around.
Take that!
The spilled grape juice in front of the elevator. Yes, and I'd like to draw your attention to this area here. Where is the evidence that proves the killer dragged the suitcase through here?
Take that!
This mark here, wouldn't you say it looks suspiciously like tracks from two wheels? I suppose. Further, there is also grape juice residue on the wheels of the suitcase. This means that the suitcase containing the victim's body definitely passed through here. I suppose this means that the killer did move the victim's body from somewhere else. I'm glad you've come to your senses. Not so fast! This still doesn't put you in the clear, not by a long shot. I wonder where BQ ran off to. I thought she was going to be popping into the stream. You prepared yourself and quiet the piggy bank before the plane hit that turbulence. And then you waited for the victim in the lounge. There you beat him to death. Then, while you were in the elevator with the victim's body stuffed in the suitcase, the plane hit that path of turbulence and out flew the body from within the suitcase. With no way out, you hastily put the suitcase back where you had taken it from, and pretended to be the discoverer of the body. Not a bad bit of logic for something you thought of on the fly. Is that what are you insinuating? That I will show you exactly how flawed your logic is. No matter how strong of a face you put on, not even you can hide your fears from me. I'll expose the flaws in her logic with one fell swoop. Pad yourself and acquire the piggy bank before the planes.
Objection!
The fact that you took this piece of evidence into account in your testimony is to be commended. Your legal prowess is certainly something to be feared. Evidence and logic, essential tools as those who would stand in a courtroom must learn to master. But what if there was a fake piece of evidence thrown into the mix? A fake? This Mr. iFly piggy bank is just a fake. It is not the real murder weapon. What? The timing of when the bank was taken from the shop is important, and it was taken after the turbulence had occurred. But then, what about the blood on the bank? What do you make of that? I assume it was added after the murder when the killer fabricated this weapon. Looking at it this way, the killer basically did three things after the turbulence. God damn it, it's lagging again. After exiting the elevator... I don't know how to fix this. The killer brought the suitcase to the shop and left it there. Then the killer proceeded to pick the bank up from off the floor. What is with this room? Why is this room, dude? Wow. God damn it. And took it to fabricate a fake murder weapon by hitting the victim on the head. I don't understand what it is about this room in particular that's killing it. Finally, the victim's wallet was planted on my personage, in my pocket to be precise. It's because of this. It must be. Everything was done so that I would be framed for the murder of Mr. Ackby Hicks. A quick save. You there!
Yes, ma'am?
Other than this piggy bank, was anything else resembling a murder weapon found?
We didn't find anything in this lounge or in the shop that could be used as one, ma'am.
Most of the items that could have been used were broken during the turbulence. And the remaining items all tested negative for any traces of blood.
I see. Well, Maz Edgeworth, it appears your stall tactics are at an end.
But it's possible it's just hidden somewhere, sir. Yeah!
If the criminal had wanted to hide a weapon in a safer place, I think the weapon would have been hidden in the same place as the bloody cloth. Exactly what I was thinking. Because the cloth was hidden inside that suitcase, it signals to me that the killer had not prepared a more secure place to hide the evidence. Which means that the real murder weapon is either still on the murderer's personage, or is still at the real crime scene. There is one more possibility, and that would be that this piggy bank is in fact the real weapon. The real weapon. Right, Christ. But didn't we just... Let me finish. The killer took the bank out from the display case before the turbulence by opening the lock on the display case door, and it was at that time that the glass pane in the door was broken. I'd say that's a perfectly reasonable line of reasoning, wouldn't you? Let's see, so that means that the killer had the key to the display case. Francesca, the person you're talking about... Not so fast, I'm not finished. The person I'm talking about also committed another sin. She tricked the captain and granted you permission to conduct your investigation. Yes, it is the sin of lying. Speaking of which, I recall that you also wish to speak with her. Yes. Very well. Very well. Permission granted, but only if I can sit in on your interrogation. Do we understand each other? I have no intention of interrogating her, but you are welcome to accompany me if you so wish. Miss Tenero is in the flight attendant's room. Let's move. March 12th, 2:23 p.m., flight I-390, first floor, flight attendant's room. So you're the one that poked around inside this plane without the captain's permission. Deviating from the flight attendant's manual is very unbecoming, you know. What were you hoping to accomplish by doing that? Miss Tenero. Ah, Mr. Edgeworth, you're here too? Can you please help us and shed some light on why you did what you did? All right. Why did you lie about receiving the captain's permission like that? Because I didn't think I would be able to get his permission. What do you mean? The captain, he only has ears for Cammy. I spoke with the captain a little earlier myself. He definitely seems to be rather taken with Miss Meal. Yes, and on top of that, I had mistakenly accused Mr. Edgeworth of being the killer. I wanted to make amends. In that case, please allow me to thank you for what you did. Thanks to you, I was able to clear myself of all charges. Really? You were able to prove your innocence? Oh, thank goodness. Miss Tenero, is it? There is only one thing I'd like to ask you. You were in the in-flight shop just before the turbulence, weren't you? Please answer honestly. Yes, I was. And why were you there? Well, what a sudden hesitation. Francesca seems to have struck a nerve. All I did was go check up on the shop like I always do. You're saying it was for work, then? Yes, I'm in charge of the shop, so I have to keep an eye on it. I don't have any reason to go there otherwise. After your visit to the shop, you paid a visit to this room, correct? Yes, I came back to freshen up and adjust my makeup. I'm sorry, but there isn't much else to tell. Miss Tenero claims to have no reason other than duty to go to the shop. But is that all there is to it? Maybe I should ask her about that thing. My fly suitcase? If you could please take a look at this for me, Miss Tenero. Oh, that suitcase! Yes, but this suitcase, you are the one who designed it, correct? And I think I figured something else out about it. This suitcase is the reason you went to the shop, isn't it? There's nothing you won't find out about eventually, isn't there? Won't you please tell me more about this suitcase? Yes, I was interested in seeing how the suitcase I designed were selling. I know that as a servant I'm not supposed to care, but I really wanted to know. And I was glad to see that it was the last one there. The last one there. Interesting. So you're saying, Mr. Nero, that the suitcase in question was the last one? Yes, they're just so popular, they're practically flying off the shelves. That's not exactly the impression I got. The one in the shop is most definitely the last one. Well, we're currently looking at that suitcase. Really? Then I guess we sold all of them. Thank you so very much for taking the last one. I didn't say anything about buying it. Then I say you'll buy it? I'm sorry, I can't. But why? I think it'd go great with your complexion, Mr. Edgeworth. It really suits you. I guarantee it personally as a service professional. Well, that is... How should I put this? It's hideous. What? Maybe that was a bit too direct. I mean, you did just mad dog...
Take that!